welcome to another episode of CJ's Discovery. It is getting to that most wonderful time of the year. We're a little early, but since we're doing a craft, it gives you some time to get it ready. Today we have this wonderful craft kit that I found at Michael. We actually got it, it normally says it is $19.99. We got it on sale during their 50% off sale. They always have crafts like this for various seasons and various times of the year, and you can always watch for good sales for them. They frequently have them. Before we get started, I wanted to show you on the back that these are your instructions for the product. As you can see, they are not extremely detailed, and they are just little graphics, and in each step are actually multiple things that you have to do. So we're gonna get started, and hopefully we won't have too much of a problem with this. I don't have a lot of lack of confidence in this eventually being built, just how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into it. Okay, when you open the box, this one, these I would assume are all the little foamy pieces that go to the gingerbread houses that kind of hook together. We'll have to follow the instructions on those. And all the glittery house decorations. These are all foam pieces. I don't think there's anything that's like plastic or anything in these. It is entirely foam and maybe a couple stickers. I'm going to take a few minutes and go through what we have here and try to figure out some sort of organization on steps, and we will be back in a moment. All right, we went through this. There's a lot of little pieces to this, and actually there's at least one thing that we don't know how to do. We'll see how that goes. But what we thought was the best thing to do was to take these little foam pieces and separate them into piles, into steps. So like we have a pile here that is all the stuff that goes to the first step, and then the second step and the third step, so that we were only dealing with small groups of foam pieces as we went along. There's a lot of little things as we get further into this. The actual house part is probably the easier part of the structure. So, without further ado, here we go. The first step is basically just building the base of the house. So we have the house and the bottom foam pieces. These are kind of cool. They're like puzzle pieces. They hook together. Just as simple as...
It's wrong.
Just as simple as it's wrong? It's not simple if it's wrong. Here we go. See, they fit together nice and snugly, but they do have all these little things that you need to pop out when you start hooking later pieces in. It's pretty clear what you need to pop out and what you don't. I don't feel like you're going to necessarily tear something that you shouldn't tear. Realize that if you're like me, that's like challenge accepted. I can do it. We also have the walls here. They also have little parts that you pop out like that. The only thing is being able to tell what you definitely need to throw away. When I'm doing these sorts of kits, I keep a trash pile in case I accidentally stick something in it that shouldn't, and I don't throw it away. I will actually use the plastic box that it came in sometimes to store it all in until I'm completely done, so don't throw any pieces away that weren't meant to be thrown away. So the way a lot of the structure sticks together are through these, there will be holes on one and parts that stick out on the other, and they fit together pretty snugly like puzzle pieces. There are parts that are kind of more difficult to get together on some of them, but they do okay. So there's the front of my house. Construction is not my forte. Okay, if you're gonna throw temper tantrums this early on, we're in trouble. Then was the video that Josh rage quit it because he couldn't put foam pieces together. I wonder if you could do something like hot glue or glue of any kind and kind of firm up the structure. Alright, so we've completed the first step here. I only feel like it took like a half an hour, but it's completed, it's together, this is the first step. And I feel like the lightest touch might knock it all down. Okay, so the second step is building the front here and the little section that's on the top. I use very technical words when I'm doing crafts.
I'm just worried that it will, when we put the stuff on top, it will go.
Let's go like this, but then where does this part go? We did part of the first step wrong. You cannot hook it together, so we have to actually take off our back wall and turn it around. the whole house will probably fall apart now. Let's see. I'm going to do a little YouTube magic to fix this. Let's see here. Ready? Ta-da! Alright, as you notice, we did more than just, putting on the top here. I actually did the next step. And the reason we did the next step is because it was really frustrating. Every time we would go to put on another foam piece, it would just fall apart. It would collapse. We would be starting. Honestly, I have the same trouble with real gingerbread houses. So we decided to take it apart and start again using ye old masking tape, because we were ye old frustrated. Here's the thing though, I don't feel like we're all to blame, and let me give you an example why. See this piece on the front here and this little triangle in the center, which is probably starting to fall off. In the instructions it shows you doing the little piece like this that has the notches, and then it has this little triangle in the center. The triangle in the center has no notches, has nothing to hook into anything else. So I get the impression that they're under the understanding that you will somehow use force to hold them together. This is not a thing. It does not forcefully hold anything. It is not, yeah.
Using the force.
Oh, it does say glue needed. This is what happens when you read all the stuff on the project. So I'm looking, and it does say in the corner that glue is needed. I was wondering, I'm like, there is no way this structure is staying together without some sort of adhesive. We were right to be old frustrated because
we did not read the
this is not a failure on our part. It's, other than reading the box, I guess, but it's not a failure on our part. I'm gonna go get some ye old glue. Ye old glue stick. I don't know, I thought it was pretty good for not actually using any glue. Let's see. Where did ye old masking tape go? What did you do with it? This is not funny. If not, always. Nothing ever gets done. Alright, you're turning red. It holds together so much better. Y'all don't know because I turned the camera off, but this did not make me a happy person. I was hesitant to use adhesive because I tried to do these things like how the kit tells us to do them at first, and I was like, doggone it, if it doesn't say we need adhesive, then we're not going to use adhesive. But then I was really frustrated and I was like, we're going to use adhesive, and we'll just say that we had to use adhesive. So I'm kind of glad to see that we were actually supposed to do that, and it wasn't just my inability to put together foam structures. So here's where we're at. I'm pretty sure we're running on about 40 minutes here trying to get this doohickey together. So I'm actually going to stop the video and do the next part of building the house, and then we'll be able to start getting to the fun stuff of all the glittery stickers and putting all that stuff on here. Yield glue stick doesn't really work, and I am not sure what glue I need that would dry fast enough to hold these little notches together. I have made do with some masking tape. However, the problem with masking tape is it doesn't always look pretty, and it doesn't always work really well. These notches are not firmly stuck together and everything.
Everything is wobbly.
I'm not a fan. The amount of times things fell apart and popped apart. Somebody with a little more patience might be able to do better. In fact, I'm pretty sure they probably could. I'm not that person, nor is any child under the age of 10 that I know of. We held things together, we kind of forced it and made it work in places, but it doesn't look like the box yet. So, we're going to keep on moving. We have built the entire actually base of the house. We are going to now starting to put on the fun colors and the glitter, and hopefully not knock down what we've already built too much by pushing things against it. I am also going to pick lots of glue off my fingers because I pretty much glued my fingers to the structure at one point. On with the fun! I mentioned before that I'm frustrated. I haven't gotten unfrustrated yet. The previous kit that I did, when we did everything had sticky backs to them, so everything stuck together real nicely. I believe it was the same brand as this. I'm not for 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it did. So I don't know why that is, what the difference is, why they made this one different. But for instance, this is supposed to go, this is the back side of the house, but if it was the front, it's supposed to go on the house like this, and it has nothing to stick it to it. My Elmer's little kids glue, not helping. So I am going to make an attempt to use a low temperature glue gun. I don't know what type of glue they actually intend for you to use. I've tried to read over to see if it says anything. It does not that I can see. However, I missed the fact that it said it needed glue to begin with, so maybe I'm wrong. But we're going to attempt to use a low temperature glue gun on this and see if we can start sticking these pieces. And the reason I went for a glue gun is because there is like this piece, and this piece is supposed to sit on top. And it has nothing to stick into, it just sits there, and you're supposed to glue it there, I guess. But I can't think of any type of glue that will firmly keep this little thing sitting balanced besides possibly built up glue from a glue gun. We're going to try here. I'm afraid of melting the foam pieces. At this point, that wouldn't be the worst thing in my life. My glue gun has a leak. This is not helping with the frustration levels. Alright, here we go.
Let's try this.
Oh, I almost put the home backwards. Home, have a sweet Christmas. That's what it says.
Please stay.
Well, that might be our solution here. So I'm going to gather together the pieces for the next step, and we're going to start sticking these on here. Alrighty, we've actually got most of this together. We are on to the final touches of putting the gumdrops and the sprinkles all over the snow here. Using the glue gun has greatly improved the situation as well. Frankly, a lot of these things have stickies, so that part started getting easier. If I were to start this all over, I would have immediately started using the glue gun. Alright, here we are after a process that took about 2 to 2.5 hours. Here is our reveal. Ta-da! Ooh. Ah. Okay, so here's where we are. First of all, I think we have a sweet little gingerbread man who probably cannot get in his house. It doesn't matter because our sweet little gingerbread man probably could do better with its crooked doors and crooked roof and everything else. If only I would have realized from the beginning. I think that the hot glue was definitely the way to go. I think if I had started that out from the very beginning carefully, then I could have put the structure together much easier and it would not have stressed me out so very much. And I wouldn't have had to use masking tapes and things like that. So I definitely think that part could have been done a lot better. And then once we got past the actual building of the house, the stuff on the outside, a lot of it stuck pretty easily. There was a little need for a little touch of glue here and a little touch of glue there. Especially like these little pieces that stand up, they definitely needed something to help them stand. I don't know if there's a better glue than what using hot glue, but hot glue worked good for those because I could kind of build a little stand for them to sit on. I definitely have an opinion on this, but I want to let Josh state his opinion first here. So what do you think about this craft? Okay.
I was annoyed at the walls because they're wobbly. They don't have really any latches on the bottom. And whenever we did it, it just like...
Okay, but would that have improved if I had used hot glue from the beginning? That probably would have been better.
Yeah.
So after we got past actually building the house and started putting the other stuff on, was that part fun?
Yeah. I like this entire thing.
So I think that possibly a little more instruction would have been beneficial. My opinion on this kit is quite simple. I actually think it turned out very cute once I got past the original frustration. I also think it's the type of kit where different parts of a family could do different parts. For instance, an older person putting together the actual base structure while younger kids can come in and do things like the sprinkles or stick the little stickies on, so you can kind of work with multiple levels of kids in the family. I think that somebody who has a little more patience than me could also make it look a little better. And the honest truth is, I think even with all of our mishaps, it still turned out pretty cute with the exception of some little crooked stuff going on that somebody could have spent a little bit more patient time working with and doing. All in all, I think it's very cute. I think it was actually very cute little holiday thing to put around the house and worth the money. I don't think it's something that you're going to store very well. It's probably only going to last the season and then you're going to put it away. I don't know if somebody might have a better idea on how to keep those sorts of things and not have to do it again the following year. Again, if I didn't say it before, this pack was by Creatology. It came from Michael's. I bought it on the 50% off sale, so I actually only paid $10 for it. Thank you for joining us on this episode of CJ Discovery. Please be sure to click that like button if you enjoyed watching this or enjoyed our frustration while doing it. Also, we would love it if you would subscribe and join us for the other videos that we do. We have a lot of fun doing these when we do them. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Bye!
Bye!
Oh crud! I glued the gingerbread man to the table. This is our gingerbread man. And this is the door that he walks in through.
There's no way he can get it.
He must have to go like this through the door. Okay,
It's a little crooked, but I don't care. I don't care if it's crooked. There we go.
Yeah. All right, here. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you head and glue this little dude? What is our door goes? Our door goes like this.